Right guys, I'm doing well. So in this video we're going to talk about a few things. So the first we're going to talk about is an aluminum dump I'm actually going through at the moment. Pretty intense actually with CalMag Fusion. We're then going to look at a new pre-sale that's coming out, that's out now, Zinc Matrix Pro 2.0. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and talk about the new changes to version 2. Then we're going to talk about international orders and a few changes and how people can get international orders at the moment and what's going to happen in the future. And then we're going to look at a couple of things that I sort of talk about on the program. I sort of call it the Holy Trinity and the Holy Diamond. And we're going to talk about how this triangle relates to women and how it's super important to get these three things down. And then we're going to look at what I call the Holy Diamond. And that relates more to men and how it's important to get these four things down when you're actually doing the mineral balancing program. Alright, so first things first. So I'm going through a aluminum dump at the moment. I've been taking CalMag Fusion for a while, and I've been seeing some posts from people who's been taking CalMag Fusion and they've been eliminating aluminium as a result. And that's definitely been happening to me quite a lot. You might notice that I've got a couple of bags under my eyes at the moment, just because I've not been sleeping too well because of this aluminum dump. And I mentioned on the previous video that I was actually experiencing, because of this aluminum dump, a little bit of EMF sensitivity when I'm close to a computer. And one thing I talk about with EMF sensitivity is always related to metals, especially metals that are conductive: copper, aluminum, mercury, etc., etc. So with all this aluminium going around my body, going around my bloodstream, the EMFs are amplifying off that, and I can feel a little bit at the moment. So that's something I want to mention. Sorry if I switch between aluminium and aluminum. Aluminium is British, aluminum's obviously American. But yeah, it's been a really interesting process. You might have seen my previous video about my weight gain that I've got, and how I'm sort of committed to driving myself back down. So I've been really upping the ante when it comes to doing the program, and that is one of the things I've been doing, actually increasing my supplement dosages. And lo and behold, now I'm actually seeing some dumping going off in the form of aluminum. So I'm hoping to do a test. Maybe I'll get my hair cut, in a few days from now. Just to see what happens on the hair test. That's really exciting. But there is a CalMag Fusion pre-order going off at the moment on valencenutraceuticals.com. So go and check that out. You're going to get 10% off at the moment, which is really good. All right, moving on. So we do have another pre-sale going off at the moment, Zinc Matrix Pro. We also have CalMag Fusion and NAK Up 3.0. That's been going now for nearly a week, I think. And now we've got Zinc Matrix Pro. So if you do want that at 10% discount, go to valencenutraceuticals.com, check it out, get your 10%, and yeah, they're powerful. And the good thing really about, a lot of people saying, oh, they're powerful, and I've heard a couple of people saying, oh, they're too powerful. And one thing that we've done with Valence is that we've got capsule forms, so you can just reduce the dosage. And it is important to make a point of the fact that probably the main aim really, or one of the main aims of the mineral balancing program is to remove the toxins, to remove the metals that are holding people back. So often, these supplements are actually causing people to detox a little bit faster than what you would previously, which is really, a really good thing on one level, because back in the 80s, we never saw low patterns. People were much more healthier. Dr. Wilson always said that back in the 80s, very rarely people had adrenal burnout. You usually used to see it with sort of high-flying executives, and then in the 90s, you saw a lot of women in burnout, and now you even see sort of babies with burnout patterns. And one of the things that's changed is the amount of time it can take for people to actually heal. So, back in the 80s, people could overcome burnout in, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. In the 90s, that sort of crept up to 1 year, 2 years. And now, unfortunately, for some people, it's moving into 3, 4, 5 years. So we have to do additional things to try and speed up that process. Unfortunately, or unfortunately, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. So one of the major improvements that's happened on the program recently is obviously the inclusion of these new supplements, and we're also sort of mentioning things like liver flushers, which is sort of becoming much more popular now, and we're obviously talking much more about binders, etc., to help reduce them detoxification symptoms, which was something that wasn't used as much in the past. So yeah, so the zinc pre-sale that we've got going off at the moment with the Zinc Matrix Pro, it includes um, some extra forms of zinc. So previously, we had zinc bicolinate, zinc orotate, zinc methionine sulfate, zinc glycinate, carnosine. So now we've actually added arginate and aspartate, so it's going to be an even more powerful product. I've been taking the Zinc Matrix Pro personally, and it's got a really clean feel to it. I really like the feeling. And yeah, from what I've seen on the hair test, it is really helping with people who have got elevated NAK ratios. So it's very, very superior product. So check that out when you can. So yeah, a lot of people have been messaging me about international orders. Obviously, I hold stock of a lot of things in the UK. We are not going to be holding stock in the UK, I'm afraid, moving forwards for Valence nutraceuticals. The reasons are a little bit complicated. One of the things that we wanted to do was sort of simplify and streamline the whole process. So we are working with a large distributor, and we're working with them to build integration on a new website that I'm actually building for Valence Nutraceuticals. And yeah, you will be able to order internationally directly from the USA. So yeah, I understand that's a little bit frustrating for the people in the UK, but it's something that we've got to do, and we've got to, provide this big distributor with a certain amount of orders for them to keep us on their books. So if we sort of split in internationals and USA and Canada orders, it's going to get, we're probably it's going to be more difficult for us to reach the goals that we need to reach in terms of keeping the distributor happy with the orders that we're doing. However, people can use MyUS for now if they wanted to. MyUS is just a shipping forwarding company. So basically, if you go to myus.com, click sign up, they'll give you a United States address. And what you can do is you can get pre-sales on the supplements. You can add in your forwarding address there, and when everything's up and running, your supplements will be forwarded to myus.com, and then obviously shipped onto you. We are hoping to get this integration sorted, ASAP. So yeah, keep your ears out for that. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Aaron has mentioned that when the internationals do come online, there is going to be the pre-sale option available. So if you don't want to go through MyUS, obviously when the integration is properly set up, it is going to be better to use that, because then you're not going from distributor to MyUS to international. You're just going, direct, and probably there's going to be an extra expense. The other good thing about the shipping company is that we're integrating a system called Passport, which allows people to pre-pay for any sort of customs fees or any additional fees that you might have otherwise got if you would have ordered actually from the UK, because we don't have a system in place whereby you can pay up front for that sort of stuff. All right, so moving on. So this is something I wanted to talk about today. I personally call it the Holy Trinity and the Holy Diamond. And one of the things that I've sort of realised over the years is that there's a few key things that you need to really get in place, I find, to actually move the needle forwards. If you look at the video I did previously, I talked about a gentleman who was struggling for quite a number of years, and it wasn't until he actually stopped doing one of the things that I say you really need to stop doing, that he actually moved the needle forward. Actually, two things, and his hair test shifted dramatically. So these three main things for women are diet, lifestyle, and detox. I generally find that if you get one of these things off, you tend to people will find it extremely difficult to move forward. So what are the reasons behind that? Well, let's say, for example, you got the lifestyle down, so you're really well rested, and you maybe got the detox down, but you're doing the coffee enemas, maybe in the saunas. If you're not eating a good quality diet, your blood sugar's fluctuating quite a lot, which uses a lot of energy. The body has to use a lot of energy to deal with the blood sugar. You're not getting you're not getting a real influx of minerals and nutrition and macronutrients and trace minerals from the vegetables that we recommend. So the body really struggles with actually moving forwards with detoxification because it's too busy actually putting energy towards dealing with the dietary issues that's actually going off in that individual. Now you can switch that to lifestyle. Let's say an individual is doing a really good diet and a really good detox, doing really good detox methods, but their lifestyle's not very good. Let's say, for example, that they're working way too hard, um, they're doing too much exercise. In essence, they're not resting enough. Again, it's an energetic thing, really. The body doesn't have enough energy, even though it's getting plenty of nutrients, it's getting detox procedures. It's still putting so much energy into dealing with the intense workload that the person might be under, or it's putting a lot of energy into healing from a lot of exercise. The body again struggles to move forwards. It's really good to actually think about the body in terms of an energetical system, because at the end of the day, the body needs energy to heal. It needs energy to detox, but it also needs energy to live. You can't just switch the body off for 6 months, a year, which I've always thought about in my head. What would it be like to put someone into a coma and just give them the program for 6 months to a year? How that would be, but obviously we don't have that. We don't have that option. So I used to say to people, healing's a little bit like living in a mansion that's run down and derelict, and you've got to sort of fix the mansion or fix the house, and improve all of the structure of the house, but you're also trying to live in it at the same time. So where's your energy going? Do you know what I mean? Your energy is going in loads of different places. If all you're focusing on is sort of living, having a good time by eating cake, or going out all the time and drinking, you ain't got enough time to fix up the house. So you've got to find that balance. And lifestyle, diet, and detoxification is super important. So finally, when it comes to detox, similar to lifestyle and diet, let's say the person has a really good diet and really good lifestyle. Although I do think this is probably the best if you're not doing additional detoxification therapies. You still will struggle, because you will detox just by doing the diet and lifestyle, because the body is rested, the body's eating a good quality diet. But the issue is these days is people are so overwhelmingly sick, they're so overwhelmingly toxic, they've got you know the liver is so overwhelmingly congested that we do have to add additional detoxification methods into our programs these days to aid the body along and to speed up the process, basically. So I do find, people's livers these days are extremely toxic. Something like a coffee enema is essential, for most people from my experience. And then finally, the same thing for men, but another thing that a man has to really uh, deal with is sexual fluid loss. And this is a confusing one because society tells us it's okay to lose fluids, have as much sex as you want, sort of thing, masturbation's okay, all that sort of jazz. But at the end of the day, the amount of minerals in sexual fluid in semen is insane, especially the zinc content. And one of the biggest deficiencies in most people, in most men and women, is zinc. And zinc is needed in high quantities for testosterone, etc., etc. And generally, what I find and what you find is that if a man is actually releasing that often, the body has to then go and find all of the nutrients it needs to replenish, what's been lost. And as a result, the guys, they can be doing the diet, the lifestyle, and the detox. But if you find out that they're actually losing a lot of sexual fluid regularly, they too will also struggle to move forwards in a meaningful way. So there's obviously other factors involved when it comes to healing, things like mindfulness, chiropractic care, body work, trauma work, etc. I'm not saying these aren't important, but I do find that these are sort of the key foundational things that people need to get in place when they're actually following a mineral balance program. All right, guys, so that's it for today. Short and sweet. We're going to get into a bit more juice tomorrow, I think. We're going to go over the deleted Facebook thread that I got deleted from a week or 2 weeks ago. We're going to look at that and go through it and see what it contains. So tune in tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Ciao.